Hello everyone. If you haven't already, like, comment and subscribe. Push the notification bell to be notified every time I upload on YouTube. If you're new and you haven't already, subscribe because there is a ton of Titanic gameplay on the way. And demo reactions and Titanic related.
Going to have a full open world.
So sometime today I'm hoping to finish this model, nearly finished. There's some things to it I've got to sort out. As you guys can see, I've nearly finished. All I've got to do is my dad. I've been helping my dad with it. All I've got to do is add that and the other bit.
Very early on in
that's not the only Titanic model. I've got that one. I got it from Arts and Crafts from near Smiths and Plymouth. That's where I got that from. Totally worth it. The company that makes them is Revel. So,
also I've read that
so if you haven't got a Titanic mod like this, I totally recommend it. But there's other options. Other options in different sizes and that. It's alright, I'm just sorting the camera out.
Get out, or just wander around the ship and wait for your demise, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what's going to be.
I'll be back with you in a minute, guys.
What's going to be happening there? This game is
so I just had a coffee before I started recording.
If you want it, you can visit the website at titanichg.com and you can download the game there. The link will be in the description. So, I guess without any further ado, I should get started. Now, from what I've read, there's only about 6% of the total deck space of the ship accessible at the moment. But this is still an ongoing project, and I honestly can't wait to see it finished. So, go show the developers of this game some love and donate. I definitely will be donating as soon as I have the financial capability to. I've already played through this demo just to get a feel of it, to see what it's like, and I think it's worth making a video, if I can speak, making a video about it. So, I hope you enjoy this playthrough of Titanic Honor and Glory. Like I said, you can get the demo yourself, so you can see what a fantastic job. Maybe you might find something that I've missed, or yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let's get started into it and start the demo. You can skip straight to the ship itself, but there's a little bit of exposition in the start. So I'm going to shut up now and I'll let the game tell you what's going on.
First the train from London to Liverpool, then a short trip to the docks where I boarded a ferry to Dublin, then the long train ride through Ireland to Belfast. Not a bad ride, but excruciatingly long. Check in at the guest house in the town proper, quick supper, quick sleep, quick breakfast, and a hop on the local train here to the Holland and Wolff shipyard. Fortunately, it was punctual. I was worried about being tardy for being 3 hours early. My darling Claire always said to me, "Robin, you better get out of the house right now and go be useful for someone." She always did lovingly encourage me to show up for work early and give my best effort.
Quick note to the developers, by this stage I believe the Britannic's hull would be very visible in the shipyards, so it might be something you want to add in.
Titanic is likely no different from the Olympic. They're structurally identical. The Olympic underwent these trials months ago, so this should be a simple repeat. I board, observe her during the sea trials, vote aye or nay on her certification, and then I ride her back to Southampton. Come on, Robin, you can't mess this one up, as Claire always told me.
now I have full control of my character, whose name is Robin, apparently. And there she is, the RMS Titanic in all her glory.
Some of you wondering what RMS stands for? Royal Mail ship.
And now I've been given the opportunity to board the Titanic advancement trials. This gives me a bit of time to really admire the beauty of the ship before I have to scrutinize every...
She really was such a beautiful ship. She was a beautiful ship as well.
The Titanic really is, in my opinion, a beautiful ship. Honestly, it's a shame they don't make ships that look like this anymore. Okay, so now I've got to find my way on board the ship, which is easy enough. No, I say easy enough. This is probably going to take some time because you've got to work...
I'm gonna find my way aboard. But I suppose there isn't reason for too much haste. No one else has even arrived yet, it seems.
Well, they've done a fantastic job. They really have.
Yeah.
I'm
What
quite
is...
surprised by the amount of confidence the industry is placing into this ship. She's not even certified yet, and her first ticketed voyage is just a week from now. No room for failure on these trials, I suppose. It's like getting dressed up for a date when you haven't even begun your courtship yet. How do you know if you'll be rejected or not? I learned that one the hard way.
Yeah, I'm not talking while he's talking because that way you'll hear everything that he says. In fact, in my first playthrough, I missed a couple of things because I moved too quickly, and the ship and the audio sort of layered over each other, which was a little bit annoying, but I'll try and keep in mind to not do that this time. Now this little shack I'm in, yeah, there's not really any point in me being here. It's just a cool little thing you can sort of stick your nose into if you wish. So yeah, as I was saying...
Belfast Rock is beautiful. With the hills around it and the morning fog, it reminds me of what I always imagined Puget Sound would be like. A man sure can make a living out in Seattle, if he can hold off the plane.
Right, as I was saying before I was interrupted twice now by the character voiceover, the Titanic's such a beautiful ship, and in my opinion, it's a shame that they don't make ships look like that anymore. I don't know what it is. I've always admired the look of the Titanic.
I have as well.
And her sisters. I think it would be amazing to see a ship that looks like the Titanic afloat today. There was the Titanic 2 project that
it's still in development.
Was being worked on and being built in China. Unfortunately, I believe the funds for that project have fallen through, so I don't know if it's going to be finished. That it was supposed to be finished for next year, but I've seen progress reports on it like a few months ago, and I can tell you it's not going to be afloat next year.
I see they're doing all they can to extend my travel time. How do I find my way through this mess?
Don't worry, I actually know exactly the route to go, because like I said, I've already played through this. So I'm just going to meander my way directly to where I need to go. Well, meander and directly are
That was very freaking handy.
But I'm just going to slowly wander my way to where I need to go, which is the forward gangway you can see there.
Up that way, the gangway.
Directly below the first funnel. So yeah, the Titanic 2, it doesn't look like it's going to be in service next year. And seeing how slow the project is going. Honestly,
But has he though?
it's looking
No,
doubtful
he hasn't.
it's ever
No, we
going
haven't.
to get
I thought you
finished,
had
which
for a minute.
really is a shame. I would have liked to have seen it finished. If I could, I definitely would have helped pay for it, but I'm poor and I cannot afford to build a ship. So, I'm just taken aback by the sheer scale of this ship. Like, yeah, we've got bigger ships today, but the thing is, this was built over 100 years ago now. This was built, what, 105 years ago now? Yeah, 2017, yeah. So, 105 years ago, this ship is over a century old now, and
yeah, it's true.
the fact that they were able to build something so big that could move that long ago is mind-blowing.
They're probably working on the ship now, Titanic 2.
And up until the sinking, like,
Pommy?
people genuinely believed there was nothing that could harm the Titanic, and they were justified in thinking that. Like, it really was a tremendous feat of engineering for its time.
You just can't beat that train carriage arrangement. It really stretched my cognitive abilities. People simply aren't stimulated enough these days. Claire tells me that every
Wow.
That could be a double meaning. Not gonna read too much into that. So, anyway, here's the gangway up into the first class D deck entrance. This will...
The aft gangway is blocked. I'll board here for the first class.
Yes, thank you, Robin. I was just about to say that. This is the... That is the whistles. And that was a awesome echo, I believe. So yeah, this is the first class gangway entrance. Fun fact about this door on the other side of the no, in fact I do believe it was actually this exact door. This door was opened during the sinking of the Titanic so that they could load in passengers from that boat pretty much directly above us. Or maybe it was that door. Anyway, one of these doors was opened during the sinking. We might actually be able to see that in the finished game.
You little bugger.
Anyway, so yeah, this is the D-deck
most beautiful
reception
cookie
area
on
that
the
we
planet.
just walked into. So, you are now boarding Titanic. Please wait.
Loves his cuddles.
Oh, he does. Chester, come on. Okay, so we've got stuff to read now.
Oh, I love his
Welcome
cuddles.
to Demo
He's
3.
warm. That's what I love
Press
about
I
him. He's
to
warm
toggle
and
info
cozy.
boxes.
Just like
I
Kate.
was just reading. I'm going to leave them on because I've not read all of them.
I'm so
I actually
excited and
turned
hyped about this
off
game.
most of my
It's going to be
my
so
playthrough
freaking
before.
fun.
Press T to toggle black and white, which is a really cool effect. So, like, it almost looks like now you're seeing, I guess, a video taken from on board the ship in 1912. I'm not going to leave it in black and white because honestly black and white hurts my eyes. I don't know why, but it just does. Anyway, so press T to toggle black and white, press M or escape for menus, so that's just that. Basic settings. If you enjoy this demo, please consider supporting us by contributing at, slight typo there, contributing, supposed to be a space. No, you've repeated at. Okay, so devs, there's a typo there. So, yeah. Anyway, consider supporting us by contributing at www.titanichg.com. So, yeah.
Most first-class spaces should be accessible at the moment, but I may be able to venture down to third class for a spell through Scotland Road.
Don't forget Southampton.
I believe I'm falling for
That's where they first stopped off to pick up passengers.
now one of the most
Southampton for our lives are like 3 hours away.
I love that line.
I'm from
You are now
Newcombe
the most
myself.
handsome man on
I lived
Titanic.
in Newcombe
Okay,
most of my
through
life
these
now.
doors, passengers from the tenders at Cherbourg and Queenstown would board the Titanic. Others would disembark at
I've
these
lived in
locations.
Newcombe since
First class
2002.
Cherbourg tender
I've heard
Nomadic
down
is
here.
the last remaining ship built for the White Star Line
There's a
and is currently
Titanic
preserved
museum
in
in
Belfast in Northern Ireland.
Southampton somewhere.
I've looked this up, and yes, that is indeed
If I knew where it was, I would really go
Nomadic,
to it.
which tended which ferried
As you
passengers
guys would know, I'm
to the
literally
Titanic.
obsessed with Titanic.
Still
I love
exists.
the ship in
I mean,
general.
she's not sailing anymore. I believe she's pretty much a museum piece now, but
Yeah.
she still exists, which is pretty awesome. Okay. Looks like we've got another info box here.
What's good about the info
First class
box is because it tells you a lot
first
about the...
class elevator foyer. These 3 elevators lead to A, B, C, D, and E decks.
Yeah, they do.
And as you can see right now, we are on D deck. So these are the elevators.
That looks great.
Actually, no, that's not the elevator. That's just the shaft. The elevator itself is on B deck. D deck reception room. In this room, first class passengers would meet before entering the dining saloon for dinner. After
I wonder
dinner,
what the view
tea
would-
and light fare would be
I wonder what the
served
view
as
would be
the
for in one of those
orchestral tunes
elevators.
of the day.
So that's the reception area.
Alright, so I'm
That
going
guy's
to
was
start
just looking
from the top
That's
of
the
where it's
reception area.
accessible and work
They've
my way
completely
down.
recreated the grand staircase.
At the moment, the highest deck I can access is A deck. I cannot get to the boat deck, unfortunately. Is it A deck or is it? No, it is A deck. So this is B deck. I cannot get A deck from the... Oh yes, so apparently I can. I can't get to the boat deck.
No.
These stairs lead up to the grand staircase landings of A deck and the boat deck, as well as lounge, reading and writing room and gymnasium. Please contribute to our efforts. Okay, yep. Okay, and that's the same on that side. So, we cannot get any higher.
Yeah, but there is a way of getting higher.
Okay,
Literally.
so we'll
Everybody
start
that's played
B
this
deck
demo would know there
then,
is. You
and
just go
work our
through the
way
corridor
down.
that leads you up onto the next deck.
B deck.
That's how
boarding
much I know
entrance.
about this demo already. Literally, that's how much I know about this ship in general.
First class elevator foyer. Yeah.
So what does the view look like inside the elevator?
real men don't take risks.
Not big, but
Often win cases. Robin?
the elevators went from, like this guy said, A deck all the way to friggin'
Me,
E
I'll
deck.
take an elevator whenever I can.
B
B deck cabins and midships. But the thing is, if I dismiss this, that's not what that says at all. Smoking in the companionways is strictly forbidden. Cardeza sitting room.
Mm-hmm. Tells you a lot about the info boxes. Tell you an awful lot about who stayed in what room and.
Mrs. Charlotte Wardle Cardeza and Miss Anna Ward travelling with her maid, 14 steamer trunks, 4 suitcases and 3 crates of baggage. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That is a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
we're going to have one for
That is
every
a lot of
house.
stuff to carry.
Yes, apparently we are. Okay. Mr. Thomas Drake Cardeza, son of Mrs. Cardeza. Mr. and Mrs. Arthur Ryson returning to America due to the sad news of the death of their eldest son, Arthur Jr. Oh, that's unfortunate. Doubly so considering what happened. I have no idea if the Rysons survived. I guess I'll have to look that up. Miss Suzette Ryson and Miss Grace Scott, daughter of the Rysons and governess. Okay, I'm not going to read all of these. There's too many of them because there are also all the ones on this side and the ones in the cross paths between them. So if you want to read all of these, you're going to have to get the game or pause as I walk past them and read. So... Ooh. Hang on, I will read this one because I know of the Guggenheims. Mr. Benjamin Guggenheim and Mr. Victor Giglio. Giglio? Yes. Son of wealthy mining magnates travelling home with his valet, his mistress Letone, I think. I probably butchered that name. Leotone, something like that. Orba stayed in a different room. Fun fact about Benjamin Guggenheim, he was I believe, the CEO of the company that installed the elevators in the Eiffel Tower. Bit of a fun fact for you. Restaurant reception room known as the Palm Room by passengers. They enjoyed after dinner music from the ship's trio and had coffee and refreshments. Alright, so from the aft staircase,
wood detailing here. It's absolutely perplexing. Now that's a craft I can really respect. Love it. It's been fun. When younger,
I'm looking forward to this game when it comes out eventually. I'll be playing the hell out of it.
They always laugh. I don't know why. I won't type
So yeah, what was I talking about? I can't remember. A couple of... Yeah. Oh, right. I was going to say, from the aft grand staircase we can head up to A deck. But no higher. Well, I mean, there's not much higher here on the ship we could go. The next deck up is the boat deck. Francis Brown until he disembarked in Queenstown, Ireland. So he was not on the ship when it sunk, fortunately for him. First class smoke room, a retreat for men to smoke, drink, gamble and talk business amid an atmosphere of smoke and mahogany inlaid with mother of pearl.
What a fine accommodation for the unwinding of the gentlemanly sort after a long day at sea. Only if it wasn't now, there were men in there to socialise with. Perhaps then I'd make some friends.
Oh, poor Robin. He has no friends. What about the smoke room? To A deck promenade. Unfortunately, we cannot get there. So we'll have to... Thomas Andrews, Titanic's shipbuilder, head of the Guarantee Group. Guarantee Group, for those of you who do not know, is a small group of shipbuilders and engineers who worked during the construction of the ship, who earned their passage on board the Titanic. Basically, they were there on the maiden voyage of the ship to troubleshoot any problems that may occur during the voyage. and offer up suggestions and hot fixes for either the next ship in the ship in the class, which would have been the Britannic, or offered improvements towards the ship itself. Now let's have a quick peek into Mr. Andrews' cabin.
I see Tom Landrips is already on board. What does this surprise me? His drawings are scattered about like toys in a nursery. Well, I shouldn't include him any longer.
Yep. To lounge and deck pantry.
I suppose this won't be open anytime soon. A shame. I would enjoy nothing more than a cup of tea and to sit with a book in the lounge and...
Wonderful way with words there, Robin. So this way to the lounge. In the lounge, passengers could gather to read, have refreshments, play board games, and socialise in a room resembling a great palace in France. Honestly, earlier in the year, I actually went to a Titanic exhibition, and there was a replica of the first class grand staircase landing, and it was a full-sized replica of pretty much what you see here. Like, you could see, and it was absolutely incredible. Although it was a replica of the forward grand staircase, not this one, which is the aft grand staircase. The main and I believe only real difference between the two is the clock is less ornate here. I'll probably put a couple of photos from the grand staircase and a couple of various other replica locations from the exhibition on the screen as we walk through. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay, so let's head down to C deck now. Now that we've explored B deck. So, maids and valets saloon. First class passengers, personal servants took their meals here. Nice. First class barbershop. Here passengers could get a shave and a haircut and buy souvenirs.
I wonder if the barber will be on board for the run to Southampton. Lord knows I should fancy a shave after my journey here. Speaking of barbers, I'm quite glad old Harry was there to look after Claire while I'm away. They always were fond of each other, and when my son was born, Harry was particularly...
Looks like the fire's gone out.
Never listen to talk to. See, this
Gone out.
kind of friend a man really...
I think we're out of gas.
His presence seems to even alleviate her hysterical condition.
Oh, that's cool. But honestly, it's much more impressive from the bottom of the forward grand staircase. The aft grand staircase only goes down to C deck, obviously, but the forward grand staircase goes all the way down to E deck, technically, F deck in reality. Okay, we've got more cabins, and that's pretty much all that's through here. Cabins, like Robin said earlier, cabins upon cabins upon cabins upon cabins. I believe Titanic had the capacity for something about 3,500 people. Yet on her maiden voyage, she was only carrying a little over 2,000 people. So there was nearly... So Titanic nearly had the capacity for the number of people that were on her. Again, now I'm going to stop here because Jack Thayer is a bit of a important name. He is one of the... He was a 17-year-old, I want to say, who was on board the Titanic when it
Jack
sank.
Thayer was
And it was
17 when he was on board Titanic.
Basically, he was the one person who absolutely 100% insisted
I might let you know
that the ship split into.
If you want
Not everyone believed that the Titanic could break in two pieces, and so as a result, many passengers and crew that
you guys
survived
watching this, my sister says hello.
reported seeing the ship go down intact.
Literally just woke up.
Which is a little bit bizarre, but Jack Thayer not only reported that it broke, but he also drew diagrams of how the ship sunk through his eyes, which I'll leave links to in the description below. John and Marion Thayer, VP of Pennsylvania Railroad. I believe Marion Thayer survived with Jack and his younger sister, but John did not.
But Jack and his younger sister survived?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I recognise...
Jack was the first one to say that the ship broke in half.
Any
I didn't know any of that.
important names,
Right,
I will
you do
stop
that's why I watch these a lot,
I
because
will
you
stop
find a lot
and read
of
and
interesting
tell a little bit
files
of what I
about
know.
shipping that about in the demo.
I
Buddy,
apologise,
out
this
to that
is
litter
most
tray.
likely going to be a rather long video. And a lot of it's going to be just me rambling on. Yes, we've already read that. We read that on D-Deck first. Which we
That's
are
why
still
you would
one
go
deck
to
above.
pay to get in the
Inquiry office. Here passengers can purchase
Turkish
wireless telegrams, store valuables, purchase tickets for the Turkish bath and other shipboard activities,
you would have
and
to
request
Kate, it's up in your
assistance
drink.
and information.
Guys, you would drop it, you nearly tipped it on the floor.
I'm gonna hold it.
Purser's office. Inside this office is the ship's safe, where passengers can have valuables stored.
That's a good one.
When I first saw this guy pop up, I jumped.
Not been me all
I was not expecting it, and then it's hello and Okay, there's not much more to do on C deck. Yeah, all of these sort of paint buckets and tables and whatnot that block our way means we cannot get through there, which is a bit unfortunate. This sign over here just says, please consider a contribution if you enjoy this demo of Titanic Honor and Glory. And there's the link, which again will be in the description below, so you can go download and check out this demo yourself, and of course contribute. Okay, so we are now back down on D deck, where the first class dining saloon and reception room is.
No entrance.
A French tapestry woven by Aubusson for the White Star Line, based on the Chasse de Guise series. I have no idea if I pronounced any of that correctly. I don't speak French. I'm a bit of a hobby linguist, I guess you could say. I enjoy listening to other languages.
I especially
Just a copper pot. The world's most beautiful puppy.
You ain't coming in here, Chester, because you get your rose
Okay.
pie out. Forget it.
As I was saying
Piss
before I was
yourself,
interrupted,
honestly.
I do enjoy listening and attempting to pronounce other languages, though quite often I butcher it. Okay, first class dining saloon. Meal service in the first class dining saloon was included in the price of a first class ticket. Sunday mornings, the room would be used for religious services. The saloon was being set for breakfast during the time of the iceberg collision. They set breakfast early. Although I suppose they would pretty much clear it off and begin to reset it again straight after dinner. Also, that reminds me, I did forget to show one part of the ship up on B deck. But
Chester,
I'll come back to it.
In
if
here
I-
now.
What does this one say? We've already read that one, so let's go down to E deck. This deck is the highest that any of the 16 watertight bulkheads rose.
Gorgeous boy.
Grand staircase, E deck. This way to the first class cabins on E deck and Scotland Road, which is through that door there. We'll go see that in a bit. Further down are the bath facilities. We'll go check those out because they're pretty small. And then we'll come back up to E deck and we'll go into Scotland Road. Now I did say it looks better looking up the grand staircase from E deck. So here we go. Look up. And I think that is just awesome. Seeing
Because you get a view of
all the centre stairs leading all the way up to the top, to the glass dome. I should have put my phone on silent. I apologise. That was very unprofessional of me. Locations in this direction include alternate first and second class cabins and the second class staircases. We cannot get through to any of there, unfortunately. Like I said at the beginning of this video, there's only about 6% of the deck space accessible. This game is going to be incredible once it is finished.
Yeah.
Location in this direction include the mailroom and first class squash court. So yeah, for those who don't know, the Titanic's prefix RMS stands for Royal Mail Steamer. That basically means that she is responsible for ensuring the delivery of mail sent by the Royal Mail Company, I believe. That's what it's called. This way to Scotland Road, crew dormitories and the third class dining saloon. We will see all of that in just a little bit. But for now, let's go down to F deck. Grand staircase, F deck.
Which had a
F deck is
total
the
of
lowest
9
deck of the grand
decks, Titanic.
staircase. There are no first class cabins on this
That's
deck.
basically how many
And
decks
apart from the
Titanic had.
floor of the squash
Look
court,
at
no
your
first class
videos,
facilities are below this deck.
You've got a beautiful smile. And beautiful eyes.
Okay, this way to the
I'm not
plunge
after
bath
anything.
swimming
No, that's unusual.
also known as a swimming pool. A watertight
just
door
trying to
is
be
beyond
nice.
this
Oh.
door. And
Heidi!
that would not be it. No.
Oops, sorry,
I'm
you
guessing
forgot he was recording.
not this one. Okay, this is
Took me
the
to drink this.
So I just take this out.
Turkish bath cooling room. This richly appointed room is where passengers would go to cool off after a rigorous bathing process.
Uh-oh.
And this just looks absolutely fantastic. I would have loved to have seen this in person.
It's like a little sigh.
Weighing machine used by passengers to compare weights before and after a session in the baths to see if they were able to sweat off any weight. That's cool.
A nice Arabian motif with cooling colours as passengers relax after their time in the bath. What a poor state these workers left it in.
I don't know, unless they mean like... No, it's just creases. I don't think it's in such a poor state unless it means like all those rags and that. Okay, what's in here? A locker. Okay. Please contribute to us at... Okay. Changing stalls. Yeah, do you think they want money? Electric bath.
Who on earth is that lucky dog testing out the electric bath? And I believe I see a sliver of the plunge bath as well.
Yeah, there it is. Fun fact for those of you who do not know, the Titanic and her sister ships were the first ships in the world to include a swimming pool.
Yep.
These days, every cruise ship afloat has a swimming pool. But Titanic was the first. Well, technically second, including her sister, the Olympic. Alright, so this is Scotland Road. Scotland Road, named after a street in Liverpool where many crew of the early White Star Line ships lived. Scotland Road is the main access passage for crew and the third-class passengers. It ran the length of the entire ship along the port side, although what is featured here is only one section near the middle of the ship. And as you can see, it's pretty long. And this is only about 1/3 the length of the entire ship.
This is glorious. You can near well see half the length of the ship in this corner.
Crew dormitory are ironically referred to as glory holes by crewmen of the time due to their often terrible conditions on other ships. These rooms full of bunks were where most of the crew called home for the duration of the voyage. By today's standards, that's pretty lousy, but in 1912, this would have been an average hotel. Just less people in an average hotel room. We'll head back first, towards the aft of the ship. Okay. Steward's lavatory.
No, I got
One of
far
several
left.
large lavatories for the
Been
use of the
recorded
crew to bathe,
for
relieve themselves,
43
and
minutes
wash.
now.
To boiler room 4. Now, it might seem a little bit counterintuitive, but the boiler rooms on Titanic were numbered backwards. So the forwardmost boiler room was actually boiler room 6. And then boiler room 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1. So we are heading towards the stern of the ship. That was to boiler room 4. So this one should be to boiler room 3, I believe. And indeed it is. Okay, those stairs head down to the third-class dining saloon. I'll come back to that in a second. To the third-class dining saloons. There we go. To boiler room 2, and then last one here to boiler room 1. This is one of only 4 watertight doors we actually get to see in this demo. The second one...
down to the food stores, crew compartments, and stern of the ship. No need to go this way.
not only no need, but it is currently impossible to go this way. So yeah, we can see two watertight doors from here, this one and the one just a bit further down. Yeah, that sort of gives you a sense of scale of these gigantic pieces of steel that were used to prevent the ship from flooding. Alright, let's head down to the third-class dining saloon. Third-class dining saloon F deck. This room is where third-class... Okay, I apologise for that. My microphone just momentarily became unplugged. This room is where third-class passengers, primarily single men or men travelling in groups, would die. As a safety precaution, single men were segregated from families, women and children, and were quartered in the forward section of the ship. Okay, I have no idea if you guys are still hearing the background noise. I am not. Because not only did my microphone become unplugged for a moment there, so did my speakers. Well, headphones. It's a headset that I'm recording with, so that's why everything came unplugged. Here's another watertight door, and there's one just down that way too. Well, that's pretty much the same as what... Well, not pretty much. It is the same as what we just read. Okay. I also have no idea if you guys can even still hear me. I hope you can. This way to the third-class pantry and galley. Yeah, like I said, I'm seriously looking forward to the full release of this game. I'm going to be very closely following it, and hopefully it gets the support and backing that it needs to get finalised and finished. Okay, so now we will head forward. Just going to make my character run a little bit. And I've just realised something. Since I cannot hear the game anymore, I cannot hear when the character is talking. 1 second. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Sorry for that quick jump cut. I had to do something. Actually, hang on a second. I forgot to reset the audio. Okay. Right. So anyway, I'm back. I'm exactly where I was before. Basically, I had to relaunch the game, but I just pretty much ran straight back to where I was. We might hear a couple of pieces of information we've heard before, since I will have to go back through several of the areas we've already explored to see the parts of B deck that I missed. But, oh, anyway, let's keep moving forward. So to boiler room 5, and then to boiler room 6, which is open. So, let's...
Oh dear, the door is open. Perhaps I'm not supposed to look in here, but I can't pass up this opportunity for a little adventure. Oh, if Claire were here now to see me being so daring.
Okay, we'll go up first, because that's really quick.
How by Edward did I get myself here? Climbing too high, I think. No, Robin. It's not your time to get your angel wings just yet. No, not just yet.
Alright then. So there's nothing else really here. Slight little peek into here, which I have no idea what it is. Unless it's... Oh, okay, never mind. I do know exactly what that is. That is the main exhaust pipe to the forward funnel, which is just there. Okay, well, let's head back down, but this time we're going to go past the door and head all the way down.
It's quite hot here. Where are the workers, though? Well, I suppose they're likely firing up the other boiler rooms.
Now, we aren't able to actually access the boilerplate on most of this, boilerplate being the very, very bottom deck. So, like these stairs here, we cannot go down, but there is one set of stairs just a bit over this side that we can go down. And we can see the massive furnaces.
These machines are massive. 29 on board, propelling the ship through the water like an untamed beast. I anxiously await their performance during the sea trial shortly. Finally free and not held back from anything. No distant tundra in sight. Just freedom.
So that is literally all we can see at the boiler rooms. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the engine room yet, or the generator room, or any of the other engineering sections of the ship. So let's head back up to B deck, because we have pretty much explored everything. Ken down here, and I'll go from one end of the accessible Scotland Yard to the other.
This open space looks like a fine spot for gathering and mingling between all parts of Europe as they make their journey across the pond to the New World. Perhaps a place on the west coast, like Seattle.
It sounds like there's people moving around from this part of the ship. Either people moving around or someone bouncing a basketball. But while I was playing through it before, I sat here for 20 minutes waiting to see if something would happen, if someone would turn up, and unfortunately not. So, let's head to the other end of Scotland Yard. Scotland Road. Oh, I know, we've already been to the other end. So, in that case then, I will head up to B deck. Okay. Bit surprised you didn't say his cabins upon cabins upon cabins upon cabins line again. Oh, this is a big piece of text. Since it's apparently somewhat interesting. Ramon Arpagavetia previously survived the sinking of the ship America. Spent 40 years recovering from the trauma. Titanic was the first ship that made him feel safe. I have heard of this person. Unfortunately, he did not make it off the ship. Your cabin in Titanic, Adventure Out of Time. Cyberflix 1996. Maybe I'll have to check that game out. Countess of Rose, noted philanthropist. Okay. And back to the aft grand staircase, heading up to B deck. So here we are. Café Parisien. This cafe is designed to resemble a patio cafe in France. With artificial vines and windows open to the sea air, passengers could relax and order tea and pastries served by authentic French waiters, who were indeed actually Italian.
Oh, man.
One